Right. So welcome. I'm Mashudu Mbele. I'm excited that you enrolled to this, and I trust you're gonna learn a lot and feel comfortable to ask questions throughout this presentation, this webinar. So I'll also be sharing the video as the recording also when we are done, so you'll get it on your emails. And throughout, if you've got any questions, you're welcome to ask me. So this webinar is about relationship transformation, and it's a build up to the course we're starting on the 4th of November, which is Monday, which is about heal, rebuild, and rediscover your strength. Most of us are going through a lot in terms of our relationship, and they affect us. I continue. Am I audible? Just tell me if I'm not audible. Am I okay? Is my sound okay? Okay, that's perfect. Thank you so much. So tonight's session is about to learn how childhood wounds affect our relationships today. And I'll also share my personal experience because it's a ways to speak about something which you haven't experienced. So I'll also be sharing my journey as well. So to those who don't know me, I see I've got some of my clients here. So to those who don't know me, I'm Mashudu Mbele. I'm the owner of Enabler Solutions. So I'm a life transformation coach and also an NLP practitioner, a metallurgical engineer. So I left engineering for the past 3 years. So I'm doing coaching retreats, helping organizations, couples, individuals and their families. So I left that so that I can pursue my passion. I don't know how many of you are pursuing your passion. So this is my passion. It's something that even when I've slept even for 10 minutes, somebody tells me that they need help, I'll be able to help. So I'm also a certified credit repair coach. So here it's about you understanding the patterns that you have with regards to money and healing those beliefs that you might have as well. And also looking at your portfolio so that you change it as well. Because money is the first thing that always impacts us, and also it destroys relationships. So it's one of those things that one needs to learn how to manage, and you also learn where does your money management come from, and mostly it emanates from our childhood. And I'm also an NLP practitioner and also a negative emotional therapy practitioner. And if you attend my sessions, you realize most of the sessions are centered about you regulating your breath, because breath is the first thing that we came with and is the last thing that we lose when we leave Earth. So is to understand the power of breath, because it's so powerful. You can even heal a headache depending on which technique that you're using. And as I said, I'm also an engineer, which I've left for the past 3 years, but I still do help where I'm required in terms of engineering work. So I've got over 21 years in the mining industry. So the reason you're here, so the question is, imagine your relationships as a garden. By identifying and nurturing each plant's needs, you transform neglected patches into a thriving, balanced space. Here, I'm talking about the relationship with self, the relationship with others, the relationship if you've got kids with your spouse, if you're married, if you're divorced, anyone, any relationship, because we have different relationships. And the one that is quite key is the one with us, but we normally neglect it. So looking at all those relationships that you have, just imagine by nurturing those needs of each relationship, how your life will be. So you can just send me a message and just tell me what are your current core struggles in terms of relationships. Maybe it covers what I've written. So just send me a message and tell me what are your core struggles when it comes to relationships. You can just type on the comments, or you can send a private message if you don't want others to see. So as we're starting, just imagine throughout this webinar, nurturing your relationships so that they transform and they thrive and they're balanced. And it's a key tool to do that, and you'll understand why. So why do relationships matter? So basically, they are the recurring behaviors and the emotional responses that we experience across different relationships. It could be a relationship with your partner, your kids, your boss, or your colleagues. So we need to understand these patterns, because if you neglect them, even if you can resign in your current employer, you're still gonna find those similar patterns, and you'll understand why when I go to the next slides. So it's important to think about any relationship challenge that we face repeatedly. So what is that thing that is affecting you? Let me just check in the comments. Hello, for me it's conflict, yes. Communication, accepting help, I love that. Apologizing to other people. Oh, I love that. Asking for help, yes, I'm that. I couldn't ask for help is something that I had to learn, and that emanates from my childhood wounds. That's why you guys are here. I don't give second chance. When done, I'm done. Wow. We need to learn from you, Figile. I know it sounds, you might feel like it's something, but it's something that we need to learn. Some of us need to learn. Those who are people pleasers, we need to learn. So the others say they struggle relating to people in general. So you need to build those relationships, because we cannot relate by ourselves. Even for us to be here on earth, there were two people who were involved in that process, in that chemical engine, in that process that happened. I get overwhelmed and detached when my friends or that current partner loves me. Yes. So you'll understand as well when we go through the slides why you do that. Not fully being myself when giving presentations in front of people. So yes, yes. So thank you so much. I'll continue reading the comments. Let me continue. So it's important that you master everything, how your relationships evolve as well, what is happening, because it helps you in terms of evolution. Because daily we need to be able to be evolving. I remember when I was still working in one of the mines, and there was this GM who was so amazing. He knew everything that was happening within the operation, and when he comes to meetings, he'll tell you this and this. And then I would ask him, and then one day I was so curious, I asked him, why do you know everything? He says, no, I create relationships. I also communicate with everyone, so anyone can come and speak to me, and I treat everyone with respect, and people will just give him information as well. So that is why it's important that we are evolving as well. We are also creating relationships. So those are very critical, because we cannot do this life. Even when you're sick, you need to go to the doctor, and you need to have that relationship with your doctor. And when you've got a toothache, you go to a dentist. So when you need money and you need a loan, you go to the bank manager. So that is other relationships. So how you handle the relationship with yourself also affects other relationships. So you have already mentioned what are the core struggles. Thank you for that. To those who just joined us, I'm just asking, what are your core struggles? And I just summarized these ones, which is fear of vulnerability when it comes to relationships, because you feel anxious about opening up of your past. Like even if you go to a new employer, some people, if they were fired, they'll be so scared to mention. And depending on the previous relationship, how it affected you, you won't be able to be vulnerable. And being vulnerable, if you're a leader, is something that you'll have to cultivate, because for you as a leader, people follow you. They do what you do, not what you say. So they need to be that moment of vulnerability, but they don't have to know everything, but that moment of vulnerability. And then also the core struggles that people have is uncovering the hidden patterns. People are not aware about their past because they've been hurt so much. We've been hurt so much. Relationships, Jolo, if you go to Facebook, to Instagram, to TikTok, you'll find daily there's someone who posted about relationships. And nowadays, mostly people are divorcing left, right, and center. It's crazy. It's crazy. And I just saw a comment. So, and also another thing that impacts us is the difficulty differentiating personal and our relationship needs. So, like, let's say, so I'm just going to concentrate on the relationship with a partner. It can be an ex if you don't have a partner now. So just look at that. So use this session just to reflect on that, even this last question about differentiating between your personal and your relationship needs. Because relationship, if you are in a relationship with someone which is romantic, it's all about companionship, but it's something that we didn't learn. So I had to learn that throughout, I think I learned that in my 30s, and imagine how many people, and now I'm in my mid 40s. So it's something that we didn't learn. So we become not clear about our needs just because somebody said they love us or they like us. We just forget. We just start people pleasing. We don't express ourselves, and then later we start being sick. We start being sick. So still looking at this question, look at your relationship, the one that you have, or it could be with your ex. Before you met, how were you? Now, how is it? How has it affected your mental health? What I've seen also, because I also do couples, I've seen clients, when they speak about their partner, their whole nervous system, you can just feel they get into a fight and flight mode. They just get anxious. And also your others, their relationship with their mom. I also had a terrible relationship with my mom and I had to repair that. But when I think about her, I could feel that anxiety and you go through those emotions. I don't know how many of you go through those emotions. What emotions do you go through when you think about your partner or the most challenging relationship? What is that feeling? Just share with us. What is that feeling that you feel? Doesn't have to be a romantic partner, can be anyone. Just say what is the feeling. You don't have to tell us which relationship it is. So the reason we act the way we do and we don't differentiate our needs is because of this slide. So if you attend my session, this is one slide that I always share because I love oversharing. When we understand how our external world and our internal world, they correlate and what you do within. So on a daily basis, when you look at our external world, like now you're listening to me, and as you're listening to me, you're using five senses, which is your eyesight, your hearing, but you can't smell me because we are on a webinar where it's technology, but we use all those senses. And if you think of a pregnant woman can smell something very far. So that just shows that we get information using different things. With that being said, we get about 400 billion per bits of second of information. Like as I'm talking, there's some data, whilst there might be words that I'm saying that are triggering you, that is making you to get all this different information. Oh, kindly repeat the question. Is what is the emotion that you're feeling with one of your challenging relationship? What is that emotion? You don't have to tell us what is the relationship, but what is it? So we get that information now, even now as you're talking to me. And then it goes through what we call the reticular activation system, which stores our beliefs. So the belief could be the belief that I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy. So from the 6 weeks when we are conceived up to the first 7 years, that is what we call our formative years. So we're storing everything that is happening. So even when your mom was crying whilst you're still in the womb, you were storing everything. So you were developing what you call your subconscious mind. So when I share the recording, I'll also share the recording of the mind mastery where I go deeper into the different types of our minds, the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind is not only in our head, it's everything within our body where we store our emotions, where our neurons are as well. So from that time, from the 6 weeks you are conceived up to the first 7 years. So that is why if you know someone is pregnant and you are looking at their life, and that pregnancy time is so critical in terms of the development of the child. It creates the foundation of how they're going to see life. Because if I were you were to tell me your challenges that you currently have with Umjolo, you could be you when we I start asking further, you find that maybe your parents went through it. You are just repeating the cycle because there were no lessons that. So now it's your opportunity to unlearn some of the things as well. So from that time, so we store everything, our beliefs, our conditioning, our values. Values is that thing that when somebody says, like for me, honesty is key. It's one of my values. It doesn't matter how whatever you have done, tell me the truth, then it's easier to deal with the truth rather than lies. Because when it's lies, I just lose it. So when that happens, you could even see in my face because it means one of my values have been violated. So look at your life. How many times do you get irritated because somebody has violated your values? Also, our attitude, our language. I'm Venda. And people say I'm not Venda because my accent is a bit different because I speak different languages and it gets diluted. And also there's what we do in the Venda culture and now being in the Mbele family and the memories as well. So if you've got kids, guys, if you've got kids, try to create memories because even you can buy the gadgets, you can do everything, but how you make them feel, that is key in terms of their self-esteem, how they survive, how they manage challenges, how they stand up out there in the world, and the culture as well. And it's so many things and the cravings, but you see it on the video that I'll share. So when you get information, gets through this reticular articulation system, and then from there you create what we call your internal world. And in that internal world, you you either delete the information or you distort or you generalize. So I'm not sure, so I'm not assuming some people might have been in a team building and then they played the game, the broken record. So by the time I can tell someone something, the first one, by the time it ends to the last person, you find that the information has been changed, has been distorted. Because as the person is speaking, so whatever is being said is going through the system, it's either being distorted, being deleted, and also being generalized. And then after it has been generalized, it creates your internal meaning. And then remember, just check from 4,000 beats per second to 2,000. But when you start working on yourself, when you start healing, this number increases. You judge less, you generalize less, you start being understanding, you start being compassionate with yourself. And then this creates meaning. And then after it has created meaning, it creates your state of being, which affects your physiology. So like the example I made, like if someone lies to me, they're not telling me the truth because I need the truth. I can feel it that is not the truth because also something that you need to master as well is to just read body language. You could just see and you can even tell. And then it affects your physiology and then it affects your external behavior, which could be your words, your action, and your choice. And this is something that is continuously happening even now. So this is so important. So as we go through this webinar, just remember this slide. Come back to this slide and also look at your life. What are the things you are generalizing in terms of umjolo? What is it you're deleting? And it's similar to if we go and watch the same movie or we watch Netflix. If someone were to ask us and say, what did you learn? All of us would have learned something different. So, and because of this, so it's so critical. So basically what I'm just saying is how we view the world, it's different from person to person based on our upbringing. The first, from the 6 weeks we conceived from the to the 7. So when we start doing the work, if I were to coach you, what we concentrate is that child. We will concentrate on the inner child to heal it so that, or him, so that there isn't any misalignment between both of you. And this also affects relationship. Because someone will say, no, I was expecting Joe to hug me. And then Joe say, no, now I don't know how to hug. So we are having, and then you lose your mind because when you're expecting what people would, what your parents were doing. So it's important that we understand the model of the world of everyone and we don't generalize. So when we start understanding that all of us, we come from different homes, we're raised different. That is why when you're courting, you start having to discuss those issues so that you understand. One of the questions that if you are looking for a relationship, try to find out from your partner, what is one trauma that has impacted them that they believe will impact the relationship? And what are they doing about it? What have they done to try and resolve it? That will also bring you to their internal world and understand whether do they believe in healing. Healing could be going to a therapist, a coach, journaling, or going to group coaching. It doesn't matter. So start having those discussions. Any questions on this one? Are we still there? Okay, let's continue. So our interactions with our caregivers, so this is a build up to the previous slide. It sets the foundation for our attachment style, and I'm gonna go into each, and then by the time I'm done, let me know which one you relate with. We've got different attachment style which affect our relationships. And one of them is the secure attachment style, the anxious. Are you anxious in your relationship? And when you're anxious and you're trying to lose weight, if you're a woman, you won't be able to lose weight because you don't feel safe, and that will always affect you. I've seen people say, I'm trying to lose weight, and with me, I used to sell some of the weight loss products. I had to stop that because and now I understand why people gain weight, why people go through what they go through. So I normally help them to understand, to heal why they're numbing their emotions, then I can recommend the product rather than just selling. Because normally gaining weight is deeper than what we normally see. So it depends on how they are with themselves, their traumas, where is their frame of mind, what has been happening. So it's important. That is why when you start doing this work, whether you go to a therapist, to a coach, you start judging this. And that also helps you to increase your internal world of distorting, deleting, and generalizing things. Then you start understanding. And when you create understanding, it's easier to make meaningful relationships because people will trust you better. And if people trust you, let's say you've got a company, you're selling a product, and you're understanding people. I'm not saying people should manipulate you and not pay. So you have to have those policies of paying. But when you understand, because selling is a relationship and you have to maintain it because all of us are going through the most. 8 billion of us are going through, even people who are billionaires are going through the most. So all of us are going through the most as human beings. And then this impacts our adult behavior, how we react, and our relationship expectations. The beauty in terms of how to heal relationship is when two people who are wounded and everyone takes accountability of their trigger and their behavior and how they piss off the other person. And they say, okay, now I'm going to learn, I'm going to heal myself, and I will still want to be with you. And then let's go and work. Then it becomes better. It's easier to build a companionship when that is both two, because normally two people who are together, you attract who you are. So with your subconscious mind, like things that we do, so we attract people unknowingly because you say, I don't want this, but your mind is going to show you it wants that because of the reticular, because of your belief. So it takes the data through that. So any questions on this one? Okay. So it's important that we recognize what have I done? Apologies for that. So it's important that we recognize the common relationship patterns. So I'll number them according to one. One, two, three, four. Which one do you do? Which one can you recognize that you do? There's avoidance, keeping emotional distance, but you still want to be loved. And then is being anxious, being because you need reassurance all the time. And also prioritizing others' needs over your own. People pleasing, I'm one of them. I had to unlearn that by having to learn boundaries. See, let's see, avoidance and self-sabotage. Thank you, Esther, for sharing. I'm at a point, 1 and 3. Undermining relation when closeness feels overwhelming. Yes, yes. What else? There's 1 and 3. Yo, there's lots of 1 and 3. So we avoid. So the question is, I'll just add a bit of coaching. Who avoided you in terms of your caregivers when you were young, where you couldn't express yourself? Was it the mother or was it the father? You don't have to give me the answer unless you want to be bold enough and share. Who didn't give you that what you're suffering from? Both. Thank you so much for sharing. So let's go deeper to yes, both. I'll continue reading the comments as I'm expanding on each. So the avoidance attachment is, let's say, we're back to umjolo, having discomfort with intimacy, but you still want to be in a relationship. Emotional distance. Normally with relationships, the first 1 to 3 months, it's amazing because those love hormones are taking on. And then after that, you need to make a decision daily of saying you love someone because love is a decision that you make. And when you're married, is that one. Because when you get married, when people get married, they just become themselves. The thing of trying to impress the other one, it disappears. So one has to learn how to deal with the what is it, the shadows that the other person is showing you, which is you. Okay, so Neo says, can't honestly remember any of the parents avoiding you. Okay, so that's fine. So I love that answer. So when we go through trauma, to go through trauma when we're young, what happens is that our mind is so powerful. It protects us. And if we're not ready to process that, it protects us. And then we are not able to even feel. There are people who cannot feel their emotions. And then when you get older, then somebody triggers you or you come to a session and you go like, Coach, what did you do to me? How was I able to remember that? Because like I said, our mind, subconscious mind stores everything. So it protects us as well. It knows what is best for us. But when you're older, you need to start confronting those things because they're going to affect how you view life. Because if you're avoiding, imagine having this avoidance, it's going to affect how you run your business, how you approach people, how you ask for deals, how you run your own family. So it's critical that you understand. So when we fix that relationship, our lives get much better. And then avoidance as well, it's relying on yourself. Like for me, I had to learn to rely on myself, but it's only in my later years, in my 40s, I had to let go. The reason I did that because I grew up seeing my uncles abusing their wives, and I said to myself, I'm gonna be independent. And also that is a trauma on its own. as well. It also affects you. And when you're in a relationship, which I'll also share as well about my divorce as well. So that also impacts you because you are never fully there in the relationship. You are there, but you're not there. But imagine how the other person feels when you're there and you're not there. And in your mind, you're saying, yes, I'm there, but subconsciously, you're not there because of the behaviors, depending. Remember, with that, what I showed you, how you view love, it impacts your words, your action, your physiology, and your behavior. And your behavior at times you can't see, but people are seeing it. They're seeing the pattern, and that also impacts that. So, and then being dismissive and just dismissing everything. When somebody says this and this, and your partner, you just dismiss it because you have seen someone dismissing it or you can't process it. And also, all of us, when you go to relationships, we've got our egos and our hidden agendas. Our hidden agendas is when you see that person say, this person is going to do this to me. I remember when I met the father of my kids, I said, this guy is gonna protect me. I said it subconsciously at school. I'm like, he's gonna protect. And each time we fight, I'm waiting for someone to protect me. So we give people responsibilities. We delegate responsibilities unnecessarily, and that affects us. And at times you're not aware. It's only when I started my coaching journey, I'm like, oh Lord, what did I do? So look at your relationships. What is that thing that makes you fight a lot? Did you communicate to that person? Are they aware of what it means to you? Because at times we are unable to communicate our needs. That is why that is one of the core struggles that we have in our relationship. And then with also delegating him that will protect me, I was pretending that like he's my father, because if a father and a mother, they've got different roles. When they are there, your parents are there to protect you. Your father is there to protect you. Now, my father died when I was 3, and I don't know him, and I understand there was a also maintenance and all that. He rejected me. So imagine growing up with rejection, which carried me all my life. I know people see this amazing person on social media. If it's for the first time you see me, you go like, wow, wow. I've been through a lot as a human being, through the rejection, not having a father figure. And yes, Katrina says it's the firstborn chronicles. Yes, I'm a firstborn, so I've got different names. My brother calls me Sister Boss. Like even this week, my mom wasn't well. And he says, Sister Boss, what should I do? Like, he's our mom. Do something. Tell me when you have decided what needs to be done and what support. So the old me will try to rescue, even if I'm not there, even if I'm not seeing the situation. That is something that I had to let go. So those things really affect us. So I know this presentation might be also, as you're looking at it, you go like, oh, I see this. The fact that you're acknowledging it, now be aware. My whole point is for to create awareness so that you're able to move that internal, the mental representation of data much better, and you're able to nourish your relationships. The second one is disorganized attachment, inconsistent behavior. So you're anxious, you're avoidant, you're doing all the things. You're full of intimacy, chaotic emotional response, unresolved traumas. This one is big. And on a daily basis, we are going through traumas as a country with load shedding. So that creates anxiety. So everyone is asking, when is load shedding coming back? I know it has been a few months celebrating, but that also creates anxiety. And also traumas, we experience them from the 6 weeks we are conceived. And another one which we never talk about, and I love what is being done now, it's in terms of childbirth. Like mothers go through a lot during childbirth. They go through, and that trauma, the kids, we take them. So it impacts you. It impacts. So most of us have got unresolved traumas and we experience them. And also, if like when you hear that somebody has been shot because you have had, you experience secondary trauma, and that also impacts you. and one day you'll have a mental breakdown. So mental health is quite key in terms of healing. I know it's something that most people were not socialized, but it's important to take care of your mental health. I think it's a week ago or 2 weeks ago with the employee from Standard Bank who jumped through and passed on because of the stresses. And I found that the stresses started from home and then at work as well. Then it's just a big thing and you can't do something. So speak out, find someone. And if you are scared to speak to someone and you feel like your news will be all over social media, I also have Umgowisho line. So you pay that minimal fee, you just come and vent. You just come and vent. And if you hear your dramas somewhere, you can report me. So I offer that service as well, where you come and vent. Because when we vent, we release, because our bodies, our nervous system becomes calmer. And if you are scared to vent, go and channel. And then someone will say, I'm scared of channeling, because someone will read. I've had cases where people, my clients nowadays are so scared to channel because they say, my husband or my partner took my channel and read it and questioned me. But, yeah. But if that is the case, just channel and just throw it away because, yeah, just healing yourself. You're just healing yourself. So, any question on this one?
Yes. With the unresolved trauma, would you consider it unresolved trauma? Like in my case, I was so fashioned to be financially independent. So if maybe I struggle, I'd rather find a way to hustle and like just find a way to make more money than to ask. Yes, my circle, I do have those people who can be there for me, but it's not easy asking. So because as a child, my grandfather fashioned us to be entrepreneurial.
Mm,
So I don't know if it I function from an unresolved trauma or if it's a I don't want to say it's a positive trauma, but I don't like being dependent financially on anybody. So I tend to push myself to the edge.
yes. So it is trauma that needs to be fixed. Because the question is, would you like to be in a relationship or are you in one?
Okay, my divorce will be finalized in December because I was married to a narcissist.
Okay. So your divorce will be finalized in December because relationships about companionship. All of us, we need to
Yeah,
rest.
because with the narcissistic pattern
Mm,
where they would promise you something and then they don't deliver.
mm,
So in that type of relationship, I had my response was that, like, for an example, I took him to the maintenance court because it was delaying the divorce, and it's been 3 months, and like last month, no, this month he was supposed to have paid the money towards the summer clothes. He didn't. But instead of fighting him and so that I can preserve my energy, I didn't even rely on that money coming in. Instead, I made a way that I organized my finances in a way that I'll be able to have the summer clothes. You know, the
mm,
reason I'm asking is this now operating from the
yeah.
trauma experience of being so financially independent that I don't want to be like to protect my heart, to guard my heart and my mind, not to be disappointed and now being because with narcissists they can just drop a ball.
Mm.
So for me to be mentally fit or be stable and just survive, I don't know how to explain it though.
No, I understand. So normally, this is another, it will take an hour, but I'll just summarize. So, based on our history, we became more masculine. Like I told you, when I saw my uncles doing that, I became masculine. And we need to balance that. And if we are women, based on your trauma, it becomes too high. And then we need to balance those two. So even me, I divorced because my masculine was too high. That is what I learned later. I was trying to control. I didn't want to be taken care of. Men want to take care of you. They want to give you money. But if we come with our wounded self, which is based on that reticular system, it affects the relationship. So after the divorce, before you move to the next relationship, one needs to sit with you and understand what is it that you brought to the relationship. Because in a divorce, we don't take sides. All of us are responsible in terms of the breakdown of that relationship. And you
No,
find
I
that
hear you, but then to avoid that financial disappointment and being reliant on somebody else.
it is a trauma that I don't want to diagnose you and everyone will be talking about you. I'm trying to be general. I'm trying to be general because I don't want to make this a session. But what I'll
No,
suggest
I hear
is
you.
to do book a session. Yeah, do
Okay.
book a session, then I can help you so that you heal. You need at
But
least
then can I ask the last question?
yes,
Is this now, because people always say when you're a firstborn, it's advised you marry a firstborn. Because sometimes when you marry a middle child or a lastborn, whatever, that whole role, I don't know, the position, does it matter?
it doesn't. So just to answer you, all the relationships that you are in, they are there to give us lessons. They are there to bring us wisdom. They are there to help us level up. Like with your divorce, there could be things that you have to learn to be more feminine, to let go, because your body as well is in fight and flight mode because you never feel safe. Am I right? You don't feel
Not
safe.
really safe, but I'm fine. I'm mentally safe. I feel it's just that just being financially dependent on somebody. I do receive gifts. I'm fine. I did receive the money whenever he gave me the money, but it's just that whenever there's a disappointment, at least I kind of have the safeguard already so
Yes.
that I don't become disappointed. Yes.
So yeah, one foot in, one foot out. And is that healthy?
No.
How does the other one person feel when you do that? Because you're taking away whatever they wanted to bring to the table. So these are some of the hard discussions that we need to start talking about in relationships when we go into relationships. Because when we grow up, we're told, yes, utlonyala, and we assume what we see in TV and it's not. So so that is why your question before you get married again, let's chat. We'll go deeper. Like I said, I don't wanna ask you lots of questions and then you feel exposed as well.
Okay, no thanks.
And everyone who's involved because the other partner is not here as well. Because all of us have got our own stories, own side of the story. But yes, being like that, so I was like that. So you're talking to someone who has been there. I know how you feel. So do I do couple counseling? I used to, I was just saying I've got the last two clients that I'm working with. What I've seen in terms of couple counseling, provided those couple, they won't come and perform to me because some people come to this because the other one threatened the other one. And healing is about a choice that you make for yourself. So and how I do it is differently. It's that you come as a couple, the first session, and then after that, we have individual sessions, 10 to 12 sessions individually, because I would have listened to you while you're fighting. And then after that, I start working on the first 7 years of your life. Why you are a people pleaser, why you lose it, why you're fearful, why do you reject people? So by the time we have the couple sessions, which are normally 4 to 6 sessions, you go there with your consciousness being have improved, you have healed your anger, you'll be able to know how to communicate. And throughout the individual session, you'll start seeing your patterns of saying, oops, and you go like, oops, I need to go and apologize to her or to him. So that is how I do it. Because if I just say yes for 4 sessions, you are gonna resolve the conflict, I need to my work is to find the root cause of that conflict. Why you scream, why you angry, why are you mad, why you've got so many expectations. Because normally we marry our parents. We marry our parents. So just to answer this question, it was on the next slide. So to those that I'm responding to you, so just write down your mom and your dad and your partner. If you don't have a partner, just write your ex. What are the two things that trigger you about that partner? Those are your traumas. So just write them down. And if you want to share, do share as well. So what are the two things that trigger you about your mom and then about your dad and your ex? If you don't have parents, those people who raised you. So it doesn't matter. So just write it down. So day
I
one,
would
Jen
like
is
to
the
share.
hello?
I was saying I would like to share.
Yes.
Um,
Who's
for
speaking?
me,
Let me
my it's Esther.
I
Esther.
asked.
Yes, yes. For me, with my ex-husband, it was he was unemotionally unavailable. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Are you able to hear me? Okay.
yes.
So the same as my dad, he was there, but he wasn't there. So my ex-husband actually triggered me to even remember the rape that happened to me when I was 6 years old.
You see? Yes.
Because we would be sitting there, we are fine. I know that we haven't argued, nothing happened, but then we would not be talking or anything like that. So my dad
Mm,
was like that. He was in the house, but then I had so many questions because we had a, a man who moved into the house with us. So those questions of why is Mani sleeping with uh Papa while Mama is sleeping with us in the other bedroom? Because I knew that if I dared to ask, I would get beaten. So
mm,
as a result, I used to get tonsils every week or every second week because I couldn't ask. So it's like that lump was stuck in the throat and it's pink eyes because I was refusing to see what was happening. And that resulted in me being farsighted because I couldn't wait to get out of that environment, you
mm.
know. So yeah, you just find yourself attracting those kind of men who are just it's like they are just okay with not talking and it's really so I guess I still have a lot of healing to do.
Yes. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
being vulnerable and sharing. So you just proved what I just said. We normally marry our parents because,
Yeah.
like I said, with our five senses, whether you didn't hear, like even if you say there was GBV in the house, the kids didn't see it, but the kids heard it and they've seen a GBV somewhere. So they've already created a mental picture. So it is part of their reticulation articulation system of saying, okay, so dad beats mom and mom didn't do anything. So this is normal. And then you grow up and you say, nah, I won't date someone who beats. But and that person, the first 3 months, that person looks amazing. She dresses or he dresses beautifully. And then the person reveals themselves and you say, oh, so we attract what we resist. Unless you start the healing journey, the inner work, you'll also attract. That's why even I would just emphasize like those who are divorced, before you move to the next relationship, it can look amazing, whoever is telling you now. You need to heal that. You need to heal that. The wounds that, because even with the new relationship, the new person is going to pay for what the other partner did because they're going to trigger you like nobody's business. So you need to understand those triggers and heal them. And thank you, Esther. I appreciate your response. And then Lebu says day one journal is the best needs persuaders can add picture. Oh, guys, there's a day one journal. So I think is it an app? Yeah, I didn't know about it. Let me note it down. But for me, I've got so many journals in my house. I mean, like whoever reads them, I don't care. They'll deal with whatever they wrote, they read. My sister read my journey. I still find it so hard to fully forgive her. Okay. Tabi saying, please forgive. How if Ushulea, I've got a forgiveness exercise that you can ask for. So you need to forgive, you need to open your heart. When you don't forgive, you miss out on the blessings, the money, the opportunities, because your mind is not looking for opportunities, still worried about someone who's going through their own thing as well. So she knows, so who cares? So develop that. I know it's not easy, like I'm saying, but please forgive. Please forgive. So if you're still struggling, ask for that. I've got a handout on forgiveness. Self-reliance to avoid disappointments. I don't expect or ask, oh, we need to work on that feeling. We need to ask. That's why even when we wake up, we pray to whoever you pray to your creator with that is asking. We need to ask. We need to ask. We cannot do life on our own. Not everything, but there are key things that you need to ask for help. And then triggers with me with both my mom and husband and alcohol and physical abuse. Yes, like for me, I grew up in a physical abusive home. My uncles, because we grew up also way to four-roomed, guys, some may relate four-roomed where you stay with mom, uncles, cousins, and they used to fight. And I made a vow that I hate conflict, and that affected my career because I couldn't speak up. Like as I was talking about the lumps and all that, it affects you. So most of the things that some of the illnesses that you have, they're created by you not taking action based on the traumas, how you were raised. And then you go like, nakitsoraki sinus. Sinus, normally when you sneeze, someone irritating you. So when you start asking yourself who's irritating you around. So our body is forever speaking to us, and we need to learn and not ignore. And then my mom's bad financial decision she made. Yes, that saved you. Thank you, Katlaho. Yes. So also you need to also address your financial wound, Katlaho. I know what happens. Thank you for sharing this. What happens in terms of our lives? We don't live our lives. We try to correct our parents' life. When you start healing the inner child, that is when you start living your life. Because at the moment you are correcting your mother's life or your parents' life. And I've seen it even in my life. So when you heal, you start living your life. Because when you are 50 or 60, you start resenting your life. Say, I gave it all. I did this for them. I did this for them. Because you're not living and you're missing out on the blessings and you're missing out on the gifts that you need to give us because you're trying to solve your parents' issues. And some of the things we need to just say, yes, I've learned. So what do I need to do? What can I learn? But heal it. And triggers with both my mom, alcohol and physical abuse. Yes, alcohol is bad. And we have seen it even on TikTok and all that. We complain about AMA 2000 drinking young kids because they're seeing it from their parents. Kids emulate their parents. There's no fighting in. Oh, Mbali, that's beautiful. Yo, we need couples like you. There are few. There are few. And then I hate alcohol because of her mom. Yes, thank you. Thank you guys for being vulnerable and sharing. So yeah, just reiterating that slide that I said, your external world, it gets affected by your reticular articulation system and your upbringing. And this is the opportunity to heal that. Because if we don't, we're gonna miss out on life. Being a human being, being alive, it's a privilege that many lose. People commit suicide, some they don't wake up. But daily we need to wake up with a beginner's energy. And it sounds so far-fetched, but if you start doing that, doesn't mean you won't have problems, but start cultivating that. And then the other one is anxious attachment, high need for closeness, and fear of abandonment, emotional highs and lows. Yeah, this one is hectic. Preoccupation with partner because you forget who you are. You forget who you are. You go wanna commit suicide because of some human being. So I think something that I learned, and I found it so brutal this year in July when I was busy doing my refresher master's training, and our coach says we are also we work on addressing relationship, but from the beliefs addressing, because for you to be born, there were 4,000 people and they are part of your DNA. That is why I say your conditioning and all this. So you might find that you're fighting fights of one whole or three generations away, and you say there isn't anyone that I know was like that because they're part of your DNA and we cannot run away. So the coach says, Why do you want to control people? Do our parents control us? Why would you want to control people, how they go and take off their clothes and whatever? If they really love you, they will be able to make the decision not to do that. So ask yourself, is it love? And if it's not love, you find that it's their childhood wounds that they need to handle. That is why when you're in a relationship, you know you have messed up, say, I'm gonna go and ask for help. So yeah, that was, I went like, what? So, so those are some of the questions. I know it sounds so brutal. Yo, Shaga went through a lot of trauma due to death, but still, I still love him. I find it hard to forgive him. So do send me a message. Let me send you that forgiveness work, because you'll find that there's a lot of money that you're not seeing because of your heart being closed. Please, guys, open your hearts, start to live your life. Because what we do, we start living according to people's heads, what they've done to us. And also we hurt ourselves. So on a daily basis, whatever you committed to do to yourself on a daily basis, before you go to sleep, ask yourself, did you do it? And if you didn't do it, why are you able to harden your heart for someone else who didn't do it? Because people emulate what you do. So ask yourself that. And then the other one, which is so rare, is secure attachment, discomfort with intimacy, emotional distance, struggle with expressing your feelings, resilience, and dismissive. I think I've just repeated this, so I'll update it. Yes,
Oh, I thought you were going on to the next slide. Hi, how are you?
I'm okay. Who's speaking? Let's see.
Yeah,
Who's
I had a question. I actually raised my hand. You didn't realize it.
Oh, is it Neo?
Yes, it is now.
I never. Sorry. You should shout.
It's okay.
I
It's
don't have a
okay.
double screen. My laptop, yeah, it pops out. That's why at times I'm quiet because I'm
Oh,
trying to move things around. Okay, so yes,
oh, I
Neo.
wanted to ask, yeah, on the relationship attachment part, I wanted you to actually explain further about the lack of clear attachment strategy.
The lack of,
Lack of clear attachment strategy. It was
yes.
on the previous slide.
Oh,
Mm. Yeah, struggle to feel secure without
the difficulty without independence.
sorry about that. Did you hear my question?
You said I need to explain something. It was on the previous. Which one?
No, you were on it just now. You just
Okay,
went there.
which one? Which point number
It's
three,
the last,
four, five?
it's the last bullet. Yes, the last bullet. It says difficulty with independence,
Yes,
struggles to feel without constant support or comfort. So I wanted you to explain it to me as well. I know if I can relate to it or not.
yes. At times, if we're anxious, we are so scared to be independent. We're so scared to be ourselves as well. And when we're independent, we're able to communicate ourselves, our needs.
Excuse my children, it's not the one. The one I'm asking about is the lack of attachment strategy. Can you go to the previous slide, sir?
Okay.
Lack of clear, yes, that one.
Yes,
Struggles to
yes.
develop, oh yeah, sorry.
So this one is all about you not being having meaningful relationships.
Yes.
So when you are someone who's disorganized, so when you're someone who's so scared, you are unable to manage those relationships.
Mm.
Is it making sense? And you're unable
Yeah,
to
it
relate to others, you're unable to speak for yourself. Like for me, I'm an introvert. But each time I have to remind myself that when I show up like presenting here, I'll sound like an extrovert. So it's to manage that and to be able, because each relationship is different. Each relationship is
Yeah,
different. But the moment
exactly.
you start having that ruthless, that honest relationship with yourself, where like the example that I made, did you do this? You created the intention today that today you are going to read a book.
Mm,
And then by the end of the day, you didn't read a book. And then your
mm,
partner didn't give you that money. So who's worse between you and the partner that they promised?
yeah, it, yeah, it's me. So
So
I thought that you can explain.
yes, continue.
Yes, I thought that it had more to do with how I relate with people because in my case, I struggle to build relationships with people.
Mm,
For instance, I would meet people. I'll make it a an example about a previous encounter. We were in a group. I was attending this to the what do they call? I wouldn't call it a seminar, but we were being trained. It was a training.
mm,
So we were divided into groups, and this is an incident I can most relate to because it's like a pattern that's just repeating itself. I would be excited to meet people and then okay, be like, oh okay, I can actually be friends with this one. But once I get to talk to them, I feel like,
mm,
okay, maybe this person is not what I thought they were. Then I
mm.
would just immediately like detach myself from them.
Yes.
And it's something that happens very often because for the longest time, I don't remember having a long-term friendship. Even now, I only have one friend of which I met in primary school.
Mm.
So I thought yeah, it was more of that than what you are explaining now.
Yes. And also, if you go back to that slide, I don't know if you were with us when we started, that
I
your
was.
articulation system. So you would have heard what those people did, and then your behavior after that, your behavior after that. So that's why we need to address those. And you might find that even the detachment is someone within your close family or your relative or even at school, because some of the things that we struggle with is what happened at school, like that teacher who tells you you're not good enough. And you get into a place where you need to show up and someone, because they said one word and you're not aware of it, and it's subconscious because your ears heard it, it makes you just to react differently.
Mm,
So it's a deep wound. It's a deep wound. So journaling, I'll also share, yeah, there's a slide of what you can do if you don't want coaching or if you don't want to join the course, but there are things you can do. And it doesn't mean because you've resolved that everything will be honky-dory. You'll be much better because remember you've got a DNA of 4,000 people within your body. At times you react differently and you cannot even explain that. And when we do my techniques, we address that, the beliefs, the sub-belief, genetical beliefs, and all that. It just becomes hectic. By the time you finish with the session with me, you feel like you've just did a mind surgery because you get exhausted releasing all those things.
mm. Thank you, Makiri.
Okay. So just to continue, identifying your patterns is so important. So you have already mentioned, so we're one step ahead. You did identify the relationship challenge that affects you. No, not the challenge. We spoke about who affects you, who affects you. So what is that relationship challenge? And then I asked this one about the triggers to write in terms of your mom and your dad. What is it? What are the triggers that they give you? And even with your partner or your ex, because those are your traumas that you need to address. So, so it's that thing that it's either you got more of it or you didn't get more of it, and it's affecting you how you view life. So note that down. I trust everyone did know that because I did ask this one earlier. Any questions on this one? oh, the other nail, you've blocked mom. No, you need to fix that. I know how it feels. Now I was in tertiary when I was in my 20s, and I've got a 20-year gap with my sister, the last born. And then being in varsity when she was born, I was so angry with my mom and also how she raised me. But I didn't understand that I reminded her of my father, because looking at me reminded her of what my father did to her and the traumas that she went through at a young age, when she was young. So we didn't have a good relationship. So even when I finished matric, I said, I'll never stay in Joburg. So I've never worked in Joburg. I've always worked outside where I was born from. So I've worked in the Northern Cape when I was still an engineer, metallurgical engineer, worked in Northwest, Free State and all that. So I made that decision. But that really hurt me because your parents, it doesn't matter who they are, we need to forgive. And also it blocks your blessings. And also your kids, if you've got kids, they're going to repeat the same cycle. I didn't want my kids to disown me when I'm older. So I had to repair that. So do send me a message, do that forgiveness work. Do that forgiveness work, or just book a session. You need to heal. Even I remember someone said, I went like, but when you grow older, you start understanding why healing is so important. It's not only for you, it's for you and your kids and the legacy and the future generations that are stay behind. So what is the impact of unresolved childhood wounds? We mistrust people. We feel insecure. Some people become dependent. I remember he's gonna kill me. There was another service provider, and for me, if I want things to be done, if I want to clarify, I'll send a voice note. So it's a guy. So I send a voice. The lady thought I was in a relationship with the guy. And that created a lot of mistrust, and so much was happening by just me sending a voice note. So if you've got child, that when I heard that story, I'm like, basically it's childhood wounds. So, and I was stalked. The lady was checking if I'm in a relationship with the guy and all that. I'm like, oh Lord, this is another form of higher grade unresolved childhood wounds. So knowing what was happening, it was easier to laugh about and say, I hope that person gets help. So just check also, you might be in a relationship when your partners, they are acting up. It has got nothing to do with you. It's how they were raised. And one thing that I always say, people that we always ask me is cheating. Cheating has got nothing to do with you. I know mostly women, when they are cheated, they feel unworthy, they feel like they don't belong, they don't feel like not good enough. Mostly it's someone who didn't get the what is the love from their parents or from their caregiver. So they're able to mess up, even it works with women as well, both ways, males and females. They're able to mess up the good thing that they have because they don't know how to have this good thing that is happening for them. And at times they're fine, but because of those triggers, they just revert back because it's something unconscious that has been happening. Because our parents, it doesn't matter whether they were good or bad, they are important in our lives. And trauma, it happens when also the childhood wound, when coming from the father's side or mother's side, is the being emotionally unavailable. That affects a child. So you find that somebody cheat because the parents were not emotional and they didn't know what to do. And then now the person that they say they love, and then you start going, one rata, one tanda, uyamfuna and all that. So it has got nothing to do with it. They need to fix themselves. And most women, they go to IKESO, they get institutionalized, they lose their self-worth, even men. So it's hectic. So when such happen, get a coach, get a coach. And the other person, you find that they're not ready to work on themselves because they cannot see the patterns. And then also it manifests as fear of intimacy, external validation. You're waiting for people to tell you you're beautiful. And even when they tell you you're beautiful, you don't believe it because your parents never told you you're beautiful, but it's something that you're looking for, whether you're handsome, and your parents didn't tell you. So it's a big conundrum. Okay, so please, yeah, when I send the copy to the copy of the link, do reply, or you can send me a WhatsApp. I don't know how you contacted me on 060. This is my number, 6165. So you can send a WhatsApp there, or oh 060508661. Oh, I was just sending to, let me send to everyone. Okay. So the patterns that are happening. So basically, you are reliving your parents' life or what you grew up seeing. Like now, I relive my life because I grew up seeing women being abused, not being given money. Then when I went to my marriage, I came there as independent, but I said I need someone to take care of me. And I demasculined my partner, and that was painful when I had to hear it and how I made them feel. There were decisions I remember I was told, because you made this decision. I'm like, did I really do that? Sorry. Yes. So it happens. Even our words at times when we are angry, we don't know how to express ourselves. Okay, any question on this one? It's gonna mute. I need to sneeze. I'm back. I see there's no questions. Let's continue so that you guys can go. Mm. So what also affects us is our beliefs, the internal. So that is why we need to be aware of ourselves. So what are our beliefs? So this is one thing that impacts us. Like when somebody is cheated, you say, I'm not good enough. So this is the belief. It's a negative belief that we need to fix. Because if you don't feel good enough, even if you can have 1 billion tomorrow, you're gonna end up on I blew it, because you won't even appreciate that billion rand because somebody told you otherwise. So we need to start removing those mental viruses, those things, the anxiety, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, the doubt and everything. I call them mental viruses that can be addressed so that you can see life in a different light, and those traumas. So basically, it's ideas and concepts you accept either consciously and unconsciously. And like there's this belief that Venda people are dark, and I'm not dark. People, when I tell them I'm Venda, they were like, I'm lying. So you see those cultural beliefs or national belief, country beliefs, tribe beliefs. So they happen consciously or unconsciously. And it's something that we have been conditioned over time, and we inherit a lot of beliefs which affect relationships with yourself, with everyone else. And there's power. You can condition yourself with new beliefs. So to change something, you need to do it over 21 days to change any behavior, because habits and behaviors are created over 21 to 30 days. So if you want to change something, you just have to do it. I remember I had a coaching session, as much as I'm a coach, and then there was something I had to read for 21 days. Day 16, I didn't read it. Ooh, it was so terrible. I had to start from scratch from day one, because the mind loves repetition. I had to start from scratch. And then after that, I had to put a timer to make sure I read that new belief that I was busy working on in terms of my life. So yes, so it's tough to work on yourself. And they are like programs on autopilot in the subconscious mind. So I've been talking about the reticulation articulation system. I didn't want to play it because sometimes when I play it, people, they don't hear it. So I'm going to include that link. So do play it. It's about Dave, with this guy. He wants a new job. He wants to start something. And then the moment he says yes, the reticulation, the rest system starts playing, says, no, now we're gonna stop Dave from doing this. This is not according to his programming. That is why for you to override the program, you have to do something for 21 days. And then you see in the video, and then Dave says, no, I'm not longer gonna do that. But he said yes. So then the cortisol kicks in. Cortisol is a fear hormone, kicks in and all that, and then you become disoriented and you're not sure in terms of what you want to do. So beliefs, they are like autopilot, they run our lives and they create your internal representation and your reality. That's why we say thoughts create, so be mindful of your thoughts. So how do they operate? They're just like a background program on a computer, which is on a hard drive that is processing. So one needs to ask yourself, what are your beliefs? So the next slide asks you, it's not this one, but you'll see it. So I'm just going to ask you, I would like you to write it. So when you dominantly have more positive beliefs without any effort from your side, you automatically create a positive reality. So we've been programmed to always think about the negative all the time. There's one technique that I do, like when you're anxious, because anxiety is telling you that you're worried about something which is about to happen. You want to control it. And then when you have done that technique, you do it over time, you are no longer anxious, but you still feel the anxiety, but it won't paralyze your nervous system like it does. And then that's why we have to repeat these positive beliefs on a daily basis so that you start looking at life differently. We've been conditioned, even the news has been programmed for us to look at things negatively. And when you see somebody doing something good and they are so positive, you're like, what happened? What did they smoke? But they are working on themselves. And self-awareness, it's all about working on yourself. Even with your partner, there's nothing you can do. That is why I say, even in relationships, couples, if both of you are not ready to work, I have to work with that individual person, but I know that individual person is going to be much better. And then the other person will say, yes, I want to do what you want. So don't force healing. Some of you might be here and say, hey, I want my kid, I want everyone to do this. When they're not ready, they're not. Just start socializing the idea, because you cannot force healing, transformation, and growth. The only person who can do that is their creator, their creator. But daily we can create intention to be better if we value our relationship. So it comes back to the other person. How much do you value the relationship? It does it mean a lot? Because without relationship, we won't relate. We need to relate, and we cannot run away from it. And then, so when you have more negative beliefs, you automatically create negative beliefs. So all negative are attached to negative and unwanted feelings. So we need to let them go. And it takes time, it takes one day at a time. So change your belief to change your reality. So here's a question. What is that one limiting belief that you have? Just type it down. I'll be reading it as we continue. Just write one belief that. Hi, Roberta. Yes, a recording will be shared to everyone who have registered. That's why you registered. And then, yeah, I'll send it tomorrow, yeah, after I've downloaded, and then everyone will have a recording. And if you've got a question, so you'll get an email from MailerLite, and then, yeah. So if you've got questions, and I'll also attach all those things that I mentioned here on those. So those who need the forgiveness work, I'll just put it on the email so that you get it and say, then a week later go like, ish, I didn't forgive Svaniban, I didn't forgive my child, we have a bad relationship. So I'll add that. So just write down in your comments, what is one belief? They'll always disappoint me. Yes. Woo! No one likes me. Yo, that is hitting hard. I can feel it in my heart. And the next one. So I'll continue reading. Let me continue. So what can you do? What can you do? There are different healing tools, self-awareness. Self-awareness, you can read books. You can continue reading books. You can enroll. There are people who said they cannot afford one-on-one coaching, so they can come for group coaching that I do. So I run the self-mastery program where we meet twice a month. We meet on Sundays, 3 to 5 p.m. So you can join that. And I'll be sharing, if you follow me on socials, I'll be sharing some of the voice notes from those who have been attending, how their life have changed. And I didn't realize that impact. I'm like, wow, we are doing the work of the Lord. Not lovable, daily forgiving self, daily godly life happens. Yes. I can't express how I feel. You need to express how you feel, because you won't be able to ask for help for your paycheck or for anything. We need to fix that. Affirmations and being compassionate with yourself. So when you start doing the healing work, one of the things that you're going to learn is to be compassionate. If you attend my session, the first thing I'll tell you, whatever you're going to uncover about yourself, you didn't know better, you were not ready. So be compassionate, hug yourself and reassure yourself and say, Mashudu, you didn't know better. This is part of healing. Not good enough, and people always want a piece of me, but I can't be there wherever I need them. So that is boundaries. We need to fix the boundaries as well in loving self. Affirmation, replacing limiting beliefs with empowering statements. So affirmations, they are also affirmations on YouTube. If you subscribe, there's a female subscription of $1.99. Can add 5 people, and you can play those affirmations without the ads. So you can do that, or you can read, or you can follow me on my Facebook account, Transformation Coach. I do write affirmations, but also there's that affirmation that you need to tell yourself, because that is something you have to do daily. Someone say affirmations, they don't work. They work. You just have to be consistent daily. It's like brushing your teeth. You won't leave your house without brushing your teeth. So it's part of your foundation in terms of mastering yourself, in terms of healing. Boundaries, learn to set and maintain boundaries. So this one, I cover it in detail in one of my courses, the self-love course. So boundaries is, I can just give you a hint. Where are you being God in people's lives? Where are you saying, God, I'm going to be God? And what you're doing, you're taking people's commerce. And that is why your life is bad. All of us, we are not animals. We are human beings. We've got survival skills. We are creative. But if you rob people of the skills and the wisdom they need to learn in this life, they're going to be your burden forever. So in everything that you're doing, ask yourself, are you giving the fish or are you giving the rod? Are you being God or are you not being God? There's another one I struggle with saying to no to people who, yes, we need to develop self-love there. And it's part of the childhood wounds. I believe I'm a failure. So this one, if I go deeper, you find that one of your parents were not happy with your results and they were comparing you maybe, and then they were not happy with whatever you do, no matter you did it to your best. So we need to heal that wound. So boundaries is quite key. So guys, today, stop being God in places where you're not supposed to. Because God is not doing his work. The creator is not doing it, taking, and then you go and complain. I gave it my all. Give it your best. So change from giving your all and to giving your best. We are not perfect human beings. We don't run on every day on 100%. So when now I give it your all, then you start developing resentment to people. So that needs to change. Am I triggering anyone here in terms of boundaries? Whilst they are responding, I'll check the comments. Definitely. No, yes, you need to. So you'll find that over time you learn not to speak up. So it's something that can be addressed, but you need to speak up. Even myself, I remember when I started my coaching, now I'm a creative. Being an engineer, I'm forever having solutions, but I couldn't express because I couldn't express myself because even when I was young at home, I was not allowed to express myself. And I remember even when I started in my career, when I was doing my graduate program, one of the leaders came and said, you need to speak up for yourself. And I'm like, huh? So also places where you are. That is why I say our creator always takes us to places where we need to develop. Besides learning those skills, you learn them in your workplace, you learn them in the clubs. That's why you need to, if you've got kids, make sure they do extramural activities because they learn team building, they learn how to communicate, they learn how people behave, how people cheat in games and all that, then they don't get surprised when they go to the workplace and they see all these things. They're like, what? So, yes. So you need to express yourself. Boundaries, boundaries. Okay. So what do you do? How do you take action? Journaling. I know some people, they read their journals, but after you've, and also remember your journals, you can turn them to a book. Now I've got so many journals. You can count so that you can see. These are so many channels that I have. So I know one day when I'm ready, I can convert them some to a book. So as much as you're worried about what will other people read, but just think of the end goal because your story is different. It's going to heal thousands. It's going to heal communities. It's going to heal families. Because your story is the currency. It's your currency. It's your money that you walk with, and it's how you articulate it to the world. And then mindfulness, it's about increasing awareness of your emotions. So it could be meditating, and meditation, I know we've been told meditation is just, meditation can be walking, can you be reading the Bible, if you read the Bible, anything that makes you to be still. And if you say, I can't do meditation, all I always ask people is just for 5 seconds, just train your mind not to think about anything and observe your life for that week. You'll see there'll be a radical change. Just that 5 minutes where you think about nothing. Because we've got this internal voice, which is the ego. So my work is to reduce the ego so that you can see the greatness within you. So just try, just try. If you're struggling, I've got the free introduction to meditation and then teaches you different types of meditations, and then you can learn from there. Then you choose the one that you like. And if you're still not happy, you can go to apps, you can go to YouTube and find something that makes you to be still. Because we need to find that time. And if you can be still for 1 minute, that's good. I've done what you call Vipassana meditation. I don't know to those, I've done it twice, where you meditate from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. It's in Worcester. It's 10 days. You only pay for traveling there, and then after the 10 days, you can donate. So it's run on donation. They teach you how to be still. Even these emotions that you have, they teach you to be able to, even if you're hearing a bee coming around you, not to be bothered. Because the reason we react to things, the reason things affect us because we react to them. So we need to learn to be still and be calm. So it's a journey to be calm. Me, I can even meditate in a noisy area. I can switch off the noise. It doesn't matter where I am. So you can do anything in life. And then support and guidance, seek therapy, coaching, or join a support group. So I offer support groups, I offer coaching as well. And also, if your issue is serious, also I normally assess you and check if you need a psychiatrist or a psychologist. And then when you're done, you can come back to me. So the other one is to challenge yourself. Choose one small step to focus on this week. So what is that thing you like to focus on those three? I know some of you are my clients are doing meditation, which is good. I've had amazing feedback. Level, hey, we need to fix that. You can't react to everything. We need to fix that. You need to be centered. So my challenge to you from tomorrow, even this evening, try, if you are struggling to focus on something, just focus on your tummy going up or down, or find a dot somewhere, just focus on it. Just focus on it. So that is how you calm your mind. So So hypnotherapy, I just got a question. It's one of the techniques that is done. Also, it helps you to heal some of the things. I don't do hypnotherapy. I use neuro-linguistic programming. So whatever we're doing in that session, you remember everything because you're awake. So it takes you on a trance. Then there are questions depending on the severity of the issues that you want to address. So yeah, there's psychologists who do that. For me, being an NLP, I use neuro-linguistic programming techniques in terms of working in terms of your subconscious mind as well. So the person will be trained in terms of what to say, and then they take you on a trance as well. Some remember what happened, some they don't. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't do hypnotherapy. Did I answer all your questions? If I missed your question, remind me, just type it down as well. And then, so I've spoken about taking action. So I'm going to be vulnerable now. This is me. You can see me playing with marbles. So I'm a risk taker. I was playing in with marbles back in Soweto, in Chawero. And then the next picture is me in my high school matric final year. And then this one is in Berea. Those who know, I studied in UJ. They call it Vets Tech then, the Doornfontein campus, but now they call it UJ, the Doornfontein campus, where I did BTech in extraction metallurgy. And then the next photo just shows when I started working, when I started doing my VEC work in the mines. I was given a house. So that was for the first time I slept in a bed, guys, mostly because some of the things that used to make me fight with my mom is my siblings who came. There's one who came 20 years later, another one 14 years later, another one 7 years later. And you go like, where would you sleep in a four-bedroomed house? That impacted me and how I viewed life. And then when I started working after matric, I was like, oh, I can sleep in a bed, not in the floor. And then, yeah, that was when I was doing my experiential. And then life happened. Yo, yeah, life happened. Then you change, you start numbing your pain, you start eating your pain, you feel unsure. Then, because most of the things that started when you see on the orange is when I was starting to deal with my inner child wounds. And I didn't know what I was going through because I couldn't verbalize because my throat was closed, I couldn't share. And then here it was in 2017, I was on a business trip to Australia. And when I look at this picture, I'm like, how did they choose me amongst all the other people? But it just shows you it doesn't matter who you are, your talents will take you places, but it's important to take care of your mental health. And this is the following year, I had, yeah, 2018, I had a breakdown as well. I was angry with the world. I was angry with the bosses. I was promised jobs to be a manager. I applied for 10 jobs, but when I reflected after, but when it was happening, I was so entitled that this is the job. But being a manager means you are ordained to lead other people. And when I reflected, I wasn't ready to lead people because I was broken. I was broken because of life, my relationship, how I view life, being in a place that there's few people. I cannot ask for help. I'm a people pleaser. I want to be God. My money is going to everyone except me. Then then the next picture, I got sick. I got sick. I was admitted in hospital. I had bronchopneumonia. And I've got two kids, a 19-year-old and a 14-year-old. They're turning 20 and 15. And that created a reality check of saying, work on yourself. This was happening whilst I was growing up and then working as an engineer. And then I had to start taking care of myself. I had to start taking care of myself. And with this, it just shows you that we all go through phases of life. We all go through the winter, the autumn. Like for me, being a coach, being an energy healer, working with people, I go through those phases on a daily basis. So I've learned that this is my calling because I have to show up, and whatever I go through is what my clients would have gone through. So I show up with that compassion. So I had to take care of myself and say, I don't want to die and leave my kids and start. So this, I think it was in 2019. So I started taking action. I started stop saying people, because if you look at your fingers, the three fingers are pointing at me, and I had to take ownership. Taking ownership is about your internal awareness and saying and understanding what you're going through. So I had to go through that. So my question to you today is, with your relationships that you have, what are your biggest frustrations? And are you going to continue numbing them and leaving them? Are you going to continue numbing them and leaving them? Because your relationships are just the personal development that you can ever have. Your company or anyone can give you, they say, we're taking you on a leadership program in this, but your relationship, like, and the worst relationship that we can ever be is being married, because there is two toxic people who don't know they're toxic, taking out, triggering each other. That is why I think it was Mbali said they are working on each other. I was so excited to see that, because marriage is about two toxic people, because we are all wounded, who are gonna trigger each other. And then that is why there was a song. It's a thin line between love and hate. So that is the relationship where you see your worst, where you can commit a crime, where you can commit suicide, where you can be institutionalized, where anything can happen. But the beauty is that relationship, they help you to be better, provided both parties are ready to work on themselves and say, okay, we came with our baggage, both of us. Let's go and work on it. And then after that, we discover the companionship, the new people. Because most of us, when we go to relationship, we are fighting our parents' drama without the other one knowing, because they cannot read your mind, and this is happening subconsciously. Making sense? Yeah, I'll respond. So I'm not sure if this will play. I'm gonna try it. If you don't hear it, let me know, but I'll include it. So everything boils down to your internal awareness. No one can do the healing for you. Even if you can delegate your partner to do the healing, there's nothing they can do. So it boils down to you. And it's all about self-awareness. I'm not gonna play it just to save time, but it will be included. So basically, this video shows that awareness is about observing. You need to be authentically show up, because if you don't authentically show up to yourself, you're not going to authentically show up to your boss, to your kids, to your business, and to everyone. So you need to be creative, but you won't be creative if you are wounded. That is why we need to heal. We need to watch what is happening inside of you, because all of us, we are just part of the movie that you created, because everyone that is surrounding you now, they are part of your growth. It's either there's something you need to learn and learn, or there's some transformation and there's some forgiveness that needs to do. So look at the people that surround you. What is the key message that you're getting from each other? And be aware and observe yourself. This is almost 2 hours. Let me finish. And then further to my story, for me, it's all about healing. It's about finding me. I'm still not there. I'm still not perfect, but the person that you saw when she was in high school is not the same person. I've evolved. I'm learning to love myself, because I was taught to delegate love, which I did in my marriage. I was taught to be a man, which I did in my marriage, which led to divorce as well. So the relationship that you have will affect you, and all of us have got a contribution to add in that marriage or in that relationship when we are healed. So that's why even whatever relationship you leave, even if you leave an employer, go and just speak to someone, a coach, a therapist, for 1 or 2 sessions to release the baggage. When I left my engineering job in January 2022, February, I lost 5 kgs. Just shows the traumas and the hurt that I've been carrying all my life by just being employed and not doing what I really love. So it's time to take ownership. You cannot delegate it to hubby, to the kids, and say, no, my kids are still young. You can still learn something. You can still learn something. And then I just wanted to share the journey as well, my clients. So with the work that I do, I help a lot of, of people. Nowadays, my clientele has changed. I also, this year, my clients is between 11-year-old to a 67-year-old. You can just imagine. And the theme is childhood wounds. The theme is self-love. The theme is boundaries. The theme is traumas. That is what I, so it doesn't matter how old you are. If you haven't worked on it to affect, even if you're older, to affect how you show up as a grandmother or grandfather. So I've seen people healing. I've seen this, the 67-year-old will update me and says, look at what I'm doing. You helped me not to commit suicide. I'm so grateful I met you. And then you hear these amazing stories, because my role is to transform you and see life differently, because there's so much that you need to give. There's so much that you need to give the world. I don't care what your parents told you, that you're not good enough, you're not worthy, but your creator loves you, and there's help out there that people can help you. So these are some of them. And then I work with everyone. I also do workshops. I even work with psychologists. So one will say, can a psychologist, I work with everyone, because it's about how you transform your mind. Like here, it's Claudie, we were working, this was so intense. If you were part of the, then she found herself, which I was, a workshop I was running in Century. She just said, I tortured her, but she's so amazing now. The torture helped, because for me, is if you're not this, I don't want to see the same person that I first saw in the first session. I need to see the evolved you, the greatness that is within you. That is why even enabler solutions are about empowering you to greatness. That is my role. And if you don't get it, you need to get your money back. So that's what we do. And then more. So self-mastery, healing, and it's a continuous journey. And it's a process. And one will say, I look better. I'm forever working on myself. So me being a coach, I forever work on my beliefs. So this is the the manual we've been given as a master coach. So I work on the beliefs which are here. So you can imagine when I say there's 4,000 people's DNA that it's affecting you, the generational beliefs, the curses. So I work on this as well. So it's for me to be better, to show up to you and to release as well. So it's not something that will master. So you'll continue doing it until your last day. Just invest, and it's part of the laws of the universe. Laws of the universe as well. One of them is about personal development. So once a year, just make that commitment to say, I'm just going to work on myself. Working on myself, it could be you joining groups. It's better to work in a group, because you realize your issues are not alone as well. If you cannot afford one-on-one, go to those retreats, go to those workshops and connect, because we're supposed to connect as human beings. Okay, so Naked is asking how much are the group sessions. So they differ. So I'll send you more. There's the self-mastery, self-mastery membership we're finishing. We started in February. We are finishing it next month. Then we're taking a break in December, and I think I shared the topic with the ladies. So if you want to join that one, it's 555. So we meet twice a month. So we'll meet twice a month. I just want to check what I sent to the ladies, the dates for the next one. Will just be with you. I'm not seeing it, but we do have dates okay. It's November. It will be the 10th and the 24th at 3 p.m. So we'll be working on how to, because the ladies were saying, we have worked hard this year. So the fact that we don't have you in December, what are we going to do? So it's about wrapping up the month. Oh, I found it. Here's the poster. That is what I was looking for. The topic is building resilience for the year ahead. So in it, it's about recalibrating for the new year, reflect on your journey and set new intentions. Building resilience, learn strategies to bounce back stronger, manage triggers, master tools for emotional awareness and control, and then sustain motivation. So that is the what we'll be covering on the 10th and the 24th of November. So if you're interested, you can join. Also, if you can also join my WhatsApp channel. Also, I do share there. Yes, kids. We say the chapter has got subtitle. Yes, kids are the most honest people because one, they haven't been programmed so much like us. That is why even when a child who's so small, if they can see people who are doing re-engineering of people, they can tell, they'll cry. So kids are so good. And nowadays our kids are so exposed to technology. So yeah, be careful. Whatever you're trying to hide, your kids knows about it long time ago. Yeah, so that is what we'll do. So I'll share with you. Yeah, Nugget. So if you are interested, do send me a WhatsApp. I'll share more. So the question is to look deep within you. It's time to look deep within you. Is what will it be? Is it the old way or the new way? The new way is getting help. It's you attending retreats to ever. It doesn't have to be me. It can be me or any other, but you need to do something. So is it the old way of how you've been managing your triggers, reacting to your relationship, doing just giving up and all that? So the new way, I would like to invite you as well to join the relationship course that we're starting on the 4th. And then there'll be recordings. If you miss it, it'll be a Zoom session. If you miss it, you'll get a recording. So this is where it's a 12-week course. It's so intense. It's so intense. So I'll be sharing some of the tools that I've learned throughout in my relationship, even with the divorce, how I got myself. Because last year, many people, they don't know that I got divorced last year in May. When I tell them, I go like, how did you do it? It didn't look like that. It was all about working on myself because I was part of the problem as well. So you have to work on yourself and the support system. That's why we need to have those meaningful relationships. This comes with the question of Neo, of you need to create those spaces where people will hold space for you. Yeah, so it is a tough process. I know the other Neo is going through it. The tough day is that day when you are at the magistrate in that booth when they're saying that day I lost it. That is when the real process sinked in. Like after that day, like I'll burst crying without knowing what I'm crying for because we hold those emotions. So the real thing, I think there might be fights. If there are fights, this is nothing. It's when the thing is done, you go through the deepest grief ever. It's yeah, it's not a nice experience, but if yeah, do reach out. I know, and don't go alone. Don't go alone to that place if you're still carrying on with it. Don't go alone. Take someone, because how you react when you leave that booth, you need someone to be able to hold your hand there. Or you might affect your driving because you might say, now I'm in control. That day when that person says it's done, it's so difficult because that is a process. I'm not saying people shouldn't do it in abusive, it's easier. So it's like it's a death on its own, and that death not only affects you, and you start seeing it in your kids, you start showing it and without being aware. So make sure you've got the best support system. And I think I'll also run a support system for divorcees as well. Yeah. I'll see how I'll handle that. Yeah. Any questions on this one? So is it the old way or the new way? So the new way is you can join the relationship transformation course, which is a 12 weeks where we are going to look at the emotional journey of relationships. So part of this, what I've just presented today is part of the modules, but it goes deeper into details, part of the modules which we'll be starting on. And then you learn how to communicate resolve conflicts, rebuild trust and intimacy, because the first intimacy you can have is with yourself. So I'm going to teach you how you look in the mirror, how you love your imperfect perfections, your body image, your self-image, and creating a blueprint. How do you date after divorce? How do you date after separation? How do you date after you have been dumped? And also cultivating that self-love, because you cannot give what you don't have. So it starts with loving yourself and creating those boundaries. And then someone say, I'm a divorcee, I still have to co-parent. So I'll teach you how to navigate that as well. Any questions on this? So if you're interested, you let me know, and then I'll also share it on the video. So as we're about to end, I took you almost 2 hours, but you're still here because you're learning something. Thank you so much for sitting up to this far. Let's see. Thank you for your time. So what is your number one key takeaway from this? What is your number one key takeaway? As you're typing, so I just want to remind you that the issues that affect our relationship is the fear of vulnerability. Those I just summarized: uncovering hidden patterns, difficulty differentiating personal and relationship needs. So the question is, will you do it through yourself, do yourself, or through the relationship course? So I encourage you to join as well. So I'll be reading there. So I'm here to hold your hand. I know what you've been through. I'm not a perfect being, but I know I've been a horrible person. And I'm continuous healing, and I've been through so much in life. I know how it feels. So you'll be in a place where you are being coached by someone who's been there, who's not just saying this and this, because I know. So let's read. Forgiveness. It starts with me as opposed to trying to fix others. Yes, when we master that, we become unstoppable. But I need to heal to become better. Yes. And it's a continuous change. Every emotion is you guys, wow, you're good listeners. Every emotion is a root cause. I'm not okay. There's a lot of work to be done. Roberta, you'll be okay. That's why you're here. Already something is happening in your mind. Okay, I need to take care of myself and your mental health, yes. Because one day you lose it. And when we don't take care of our mental health, I've had suicidal thoughts many times. And how many of you are having that? So work on yourself. You are good enough. Having suicidal thoughts, it was my body image, how I thought. So when I started working, one of my goals was to have someone who dresses me. So I've got someone, if you see, go to my social media, there's someone who dresses me. Even on events, I have to consult her, my stylist. It helps because now coming from an engineering, I used to wear overalls, safety shoes, hard hats and all that. So I had to start training myself that to look good and to show up as well. Forgiveness is a must. I have so much to work on. I have been on autopilot for so long. So long, my reserves are depleted. Oh, wow. Yes. Take November and December to find you, because January, when it comes, it's coming. The world has changed. It's no longer the same. So take it as it's coming. And then the next one is we have deep issues that we haven't dealt with. Yes. And not taught to tackle them. Yes, that is why the curriculum needs to change. Kids need to learn entrepreneurship, needs to know how to regulate their emotions. Another critical one with kids, if you change kids from one school to the other, please get someone, either a therapist or a coach or a psychologist, to have 1 or 2 sessions, because that's a major change in them, because it's going to affect how they perform. It's going to affect because their friends might not be there. So it's critical, parents, you do that. It's critical if you've got kids. And then from fourth, what is the program all about? And is it a group program? Yes, it is a group program. So from the fourth, it's what I just covered in the previous slide. Let me just go back. So from the fourth, it's broken down. So it's a nine-step program, which is the discover. And then we also look at reinforcing and the focus. So you'll be going through the healing. The 3 steps is about finding you, understanding you. So it's working on your emotions. And then this one might take even the whole month, the first part, because we don't like working on ourselves. So that is what it will focus on. And then we start on communicating better and breaking our negative cycles. So there's a lot of workbook. So that's why we meet once a week. And throughout the week, you need to do the work. And there'll be also a WhatsApp group as well. So a WhatsApp group is just to provide that support. So that's why, for me, I can do it daily, but I know most of you are working, I can't do. And relationship, you need to heal. So that is what it will be concentrating on. But you'll be learning to heal, finding your self-love, your relationship, your boundaries, and cultivating that relationship. No, yes, that is why it's on Zoom and you are here. So it will be like this session, basically. It will be like this session. So yes. Wow, it's lovely to know that there's someone from Botswana. Wow, amazing. So yes. So that is why it will be on Zoom, and also the support will be on WhatsApp as well. And then what else? Yeah, got the, so one will be asking, how much is this? So basically it's, so the program is normally it's 5495, and then until the 31st, there's a 20% discount. So there is payment plan if you are unable to afford. So you can pay the full amount, you get a 20% discount, or you can have 2 months or 3 months payment plan as well. And also there's also what I call the VIP program. It's a bit much expensive than that. They also where I offer one-on-one coaching to those people as well. So it depends on your affordability. So this one is just the basic price. And then we've got it's the basic, the gold and the platinum, yeah, access. And then I think on the platinum, you find that you get one-on-ones, 6 one-on-ones with me, where we go deeper as well, and we do other things besides what we're doing in class. So it depends on you. So it doesn't matter what it is. So this is just the entry, or if this is what you want to do. And then there's support, and there is support throughout, because I want you to better, because when your relationships are, you are better, the world becomes better. We'll have minimal problems that we have. So wherever you are planted, I know the environment is going to change. It's going to be different as well. Do you give support to teens in varsity, and do they get a special rate? Yes, we can negotiate that. That is fine. Yes, because currently, yes, for teens, normally the rates are a bit different. I've got 4 teens that I work with. One I work with on Sunday. We always look forward to that session. And what I've seen with that one, the grades have improved because the child went to a new school and the child was not adjusting to the new environment. Now the grades have improved. The mother, I think if you follow me on WhatsApp, I did share that. And also we met last week. There are a few things that it's working on, and it's so beautiful just to see that growth. Because now I love people. I want to see you prosper. Yes, that's me. That's me. I want to celebrate your achievement and knowing and you being able to reflect where you come from and realize that diamond that you are, because we are all diamonds in our own right. That's why we are all, everything that we're doing with the work is to remove the debt, because I'm an engineer, I work in a diamond mine. So I'll use that example. And for you to get that diamond, you have to dig deeper until you get those different diamonds. And all of us are different diamonds. You just have to be compassionate, get the work, use the tools, get a coach, a therapist, get into a group, hear other people's stories, and for you to transform. Any other question? You can unmute if you want to, you want to speak. And I trust what I've shared. So you have attended at least, what is it, 50% of this, understanding how your childhood wounds impact your relationships. And I trust whatever I shared, whether you join the program, I trust you'll be able to implement some of the things that I've mentioned. And when you implement, your life will be different. Even if you change by 1 degree or two degrees, your life will never be the same. But you need to take ownership. No one can take ownership of your development. That's why when you go to varsity, to tertiary, to those who have been there, you are exposed to everything in the world. It's up to you to decide when you're going to study, what you're going to do. So it's similar. Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for everyone who attended. If you've got any questions and you want to enroll, do send me a message, you can send me a WhatsApp. And yeah, just continue being amazing and just changing your lives out there. It starts with you, no one else. No one can do the develop. Even myself, as much if I'll give you homework, if you don't do it, there's nothing that I can do. But I would have showed up on how I show you how to navigate and become a better person. Yeah. Any other questions? Ndiyaleboga. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. And I thought it would be 1.5 hour, and you're here up to the hour, and you still don't want to go. But just thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate it. Yeah, so if there's still any other questions, or for those who want to follow me on my social media, I'm Transformation Coach. I know some are left. These are my numbers, so you can follow Enabler Solutions or Transformation Coach Mashudu. So those is where you can reach out. Yeah. But your personal development is your responsibility. It's like brushing your teeth on a daily basis, and no one can do it for you. You need to brush your teeth on a daily basis. Thank you, thank you. Ah, Wednesday evening well spent. I really appreciate that. Guys, go. You don't want to go.